There's a girl in my bed, everybody. Hey, everybody, it's paper perjury. Woohoo, yay. Also, I didn't forget to eat dinner. This isn't the sound of me eating an Uncrustable, don't worry about it. Well, yeah, it's, big game time. How do I was in case 2, right? Hold on, wait, how do I load a game? Load my game, please. Okay, there we go. I don't understand how the game work. April 16th, 3:30 p.m., Azure City Police Precinct Number 5 viewing room. Here I am again outside the interrogation room. I took the opportunity on the way over to clean out my notes. You seem nervous, Miss Assistant. Of course I'm nervous. Interrogating one person was hard enough, and now I have to do it with a lawyer in the room. I'm not qualified for any of this. Why aren't you handling this? Ha ha ha. You should think more highly of yourself. You've got a perfect confession record. Most detectives would kill for that. Yeah, a perfect record of 1. Terrible thieves are one thing. I dealt with customers trying to swindle my dad enough times to handle that. But I've never dealt with a lawyer. Ha ha. She's just another obstacle in the way of the truth. Remember, nothing she says can change the facts. This is a test of logic and reason, same as before. As long as we have the facts on our side, the truth will reveal itself. You're going to get us a confession, Miss Assistant. That'll keep Miss Eubank off your back. If anything goes wrong, I'll be the one taking the fall. I trust you to see this through. But what if we missed something? What if Mr. Curry is innocent? Well, that's what we'll find out. Just trust your instincts, Miss Assistant. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, let's go. Hold it, says somebody. Oh, it's our boss. Miss Earl, what's wrong? Ernest, I don't know what you did back at the estate, but the chief is livid. He wants you in his office immediately. The chief will have to wait. We have an interrogation to conduct. This isn't even your department, Ernest. If the chief finds out... Have I ever led you wrong before, Sue? I need you to trust me on this. Keep the chief busy. I'll handle him after this is done. I never saw you, but if the two of you mess this up, I won't be able to protect your jobs. This applies to you too, Justina. No. If I lose this job, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my rent. Ha! Don't worry about that. We have everything we need to win this case. But we only proved he went to Chandra's room. We don't have grounds to arrest the man. When the police arrived this morning, Ferris was with Detective Swift and Owen was snooping through Chandra's bedroom. Oliver's the only one unaccounted for. I hope you're right, Detective. Let's get started. April 16th, 3:32 p.m., Azure City Police Precinct Number 5 interrogation room. What a fucking... What a series of things. Lawyer, I barely know her. I don't know how that one makes sense. Now that we are all here, let's get started. Oliver Curry, now that you have a lawyer, we'd like to ask you a few questions. Were you in Miss Lear's bedroom this morning? While my client indeed acknowledges that he was in Miss Lear's bedroom, he denies having anything to do with her attack. My client was simply looking for Miss Lear, and upon finding out she was not in her room, he left. Ha! I wish it was that simple. Someone attacked Miss Lear and it wasn't the thief. Miss Yor and Miss Lear were working together. She'd have no reason to attack Miss Lear. Have you considered that they may have had a falling out, Detective? Perhaps this Miss Yor wanted the money for herself. Either way, my client is not involved. Miss Curry, Mr. Curry, why were you really in Chandra's room at the time of the attack? I was just looking for her, I swear it. I think I made him Russian last time. He's French now, though. Why were you looking for her? Does that matter? I have a right to privacy. You don't need to answer that, Oliver. Look, Detective, I don't care what sob story that thief gave you, but you have no grounds to try to pin this on my client. Sorry, I'm still trying to... She has a monocle, a bit pretentious if you ask me. She's a rich person. The Onion was also sweating. That's incredible. Anna might be a thief, but she wouldn't simply kill her dearest friend. I'll stake my badge on it. You have no proof my client was at the scene of the crime, only at Miss Lear's bedroom. We'll see about that. Mr. Curry, just give us your official statement as to your movements at the time of the crime. Tell them the truth, Oliver, and this will all be over soon. Interrogation. Oliver Curry's statement. First course visiting Chandra. After finishing breakfast, I decided to speak with Chandra privately. I thought she was in her room, but when I looked, she wasn't there. Looking back, she must have been in the trophy room already. After all, she called the police from the phone in that room, and that's where you found her. Then I passed by Mr. Eubank on my way back to the kitchen. That's where I remained until Chandra was found. I knew this would be harder. It's too soon to give up. If Oliver's the one who attacked Chandra, then she couldn't have been attacked in the trophy room. Think of what would have to be true for that to be possible. Is Justina's first name Apollo? No, I think Justina is her first name. I think she's Justina Smith, maybe? I don't know. Might be in the case file. We can check. No. Her own name is not in the case file. Justina's idea. Justina Smith, 22, green eyes, brown hair. Would be funny, though. Way to prove Chandra wasn't attacked in the trophy room. Do I have anything like that? This would actually be a great time for me to review the evidence, because I don't remember. Okay, Owen admits to having entered Chandra's room close to the assault in order to take something. He claims to have seen Oliver leave her room and Chandra was not present. Fi was hiding at the crime scene during the robbery. She told Oliver about Chandra's involvement in the robbery. The receiver has been damaged with chip bits of plastic found on the floor. Bank. Bed is missing sheets. Passport was found in the bedroom window camera. Club cleaner found in Chandra's chest of drawers. Frying pan, the trophy room. This stuff won't be helpful. White bed sheet covered in dirt. It was found stuffed inside a drawer in the trophy room. Okay. So I have a pretty good idea what happened, I think. But let's take another look. Thought she was in a room. When I looked, she wasn't there. Looking back, no, go back. One more. Go back. She must have been in the trophy room already. She called the police from the phone in that room, and that's where you found her. I don't know how you know that. Question. That's where we think she called from, but she could have called the police from anywhere. Then how exactly did her body end up in the trophy room? I shouldn't have to explain this to you, but bodies don't teleport. Maybe the culprit moved the body. You think we wouldn't notice someone dragging a body around the house? Fair point. Still, something doesn't quite seem right about all this. And I passed by Mr. Eubank on my way back to the kitchen. Police in that room, that's where you found her. Dispute. The phone in her room was disconnected, I think, wasn't it? Receiver's been damaged with chip bits of plastic found on the floor. Dispute? She could have called the police on her own telephone. However, they'll just claim that she used the trophy phone. If I can prove she couldn't have used that phone first, I can probably make this argument work. She must have been in the trophy room already. I think I can dispute that because Fi said she was in the trophy room, right? Shining at the crime scene during the... Right, yes. She would have known... Fi would have known that. Fi told us that you knew about Miss Lear's involvement in the robbery. I think you were trying to talk to her about that. How dare you bring my daughter into this? Even were that the case, that doesn't change anything. My client wasn't in the same room as Chandra. He couldn't have attacked her. Perhaps I jumped the gun a bit. Better try something else. Breakfast decided to streak with Chandra privately. Thought she was in a room. When I looked, she wasn't there. Actually, I was in the trophy room already. After all, she called the police from the phone in that room, and that's where you found her. Then I passed by Mr. Eubank on my way to the kitchen. That's where I remained until Chandra was found. Oh, right. I think Fi said she tried to look for him in the kitchen, right? Owen's fingerprints, password, bedroom window. Sherry, club, trophy room. Somebody said they were feeding the cat, I think. I don't think I have that anymore. President, golf club. Negative blood. Oh, the phone in the cabinet of the trophy room is disconnected. That's what it was. After all, she called. No, she couldn't have because this phone was disconnected. That's what it was. It's true, Mr. Curry, that there's a phone in the trophy room. However, Miss Lear couldn't have used that phone. When we checked the trophy room, that phone wasn't even connected anywhere. preposterous. Huh? How do you know the phone was disconnected prior to the attack? Have you considered that the thief could have done that to try to cover their tracks? Besides, where else could she have called the police from? I'm glad you asked, Mrs. Eubank. Allow me to show you. This is what Miss Lear phoned the police on. I can't read today. I can't read pronouns. There we go. Dispute. There's another phone in Miss Lear's own bedroom which had been damaged, almost like the phone was dropped. The voicemail she left was abruptly cut off when she was attacked. The phone breaking would explain that. That's complete conjecture, Miss Smith, and you know it. How do you know that Miss Lear's phone wasn't already broken? Miss Lear was in the trophy room. We already know this much. Allow me to explain. Rebuttal. A delightful explanation. We've already established that Miss Lear was in the trophy room. Not only is that where her body was found, there's also a solid reason. Owen had asked her during breakfast to clean one of his golf clubs. Is it clear she never had a chance to do so as this thief intercepted her then? I believe I can dispute that because the club cleaner was in her room. There's no way she could have been cleaning the club in the trophy room. However, Miss Eubank is claiming she never had the chance to. I just need to prove her wrong. Established Miss Lear was in the trophy room. Not only is that where her body found, there's also a solid reason. Asked her to clean one of his golf clubs. Question. Right, he mentioned that a friend wanted to borrow it, but why make her clean it right away? Couldn't it have waited? My husband spends most of his day in the office. He doesn't encounter Chandra often. He saw her during breakfast, and so that's when he mentioned it. Chandra was always prompt in her duties. If you ask me, I think he just wanted an excuse to search her room. Never a chance to do so as the thief intercepted her then. Maybe this is where I dispute with the club cleaner. Yeah, there we go. There's no way she could have been in the trophy room. This time she never had a chance to prove her wrong. I thought Oliver would be the only one we had to question. It's her job as a lawyer to speak on behalf of a client. Don't let it get to you. If Oliver's guilty, her argument is sure to have a hole in it. What if Oliver's innocent? Then that's really the truth, and that's what we'll reveal. Don't focus on finding a lie, but focus on rather why evidence doesn't support her claim. Dottie found there's also a solid reason. Question. Why was the landline there disconnected then? As I stated before, perhaps the thief hid it away to cover their tracks. That's ridiculous. Why would a thief hide a phone? Why did the thief break into our home in broad daylight to begin with? We can speculate on the reasons all we want, but unless you have proof otherwise, let's drop it. I wanted to ask during breakfast. Question. Right, he mentioned a friend wanted... Oh, wiper cleaner, but yeah, I already read this. Clear she never had a chance. Question. How are you so sure she didn't have a chance to clean the club? It's just an assumption. I can't imagine that blah blah. If I can prove her wrong here, she won't have much of a leg to stand on. Not only is that body found, Owen was found, it's clear she never had a chance to do so. Okay, so dispute with a reason she couldn't clean the thing. This one is still partially dirty, which is true. The club cleaner is in her room. The bedroom window is open. Owen's confession. Having entered Chandra's room, claims to have seen Oliver leave her room. Chandra was not present. Chandra's phone is broken. Her bed's missing its sheets. Owen's fingerprints. The passport. Bedroom window. The camera. Traces of golf cleaner on it. Aha! For someone representing a chef, your argument is half-baked at best. Don't do this. Excuse me? Do you have an argument to make, or are you just trying to insult me? Well, I was just joking. Tough crowd. Better not try that again. We've already established that Miss Lear was in the trophy room. Clear she never had a chance to do so, but she didn't, because this one's still partially dirty. The bedsheet, the trophy room telephone, Sherry, the medical report. I don't know, I'm kind of stuck here, I don't know. I'm not sure, because I can't present these. Forced it open, investigation log. On a filthy bedsheet occurs, apparently Sean was a test one. Well, found in the trophy room that was partially cleaned. Wait our investigation of the crime scene. Okay, you can only present evidence. Last confession, she told Oliver about Chandra's involvement in the robbery. Owen's confession claims to have seen Oliver leave her room. Oh, right, that. For someone, okay, no. Oh, God, it's set to skip, so it'll just keep going through that. Club. It's clear she never had a chance to do so. The thief interrupted her then. Not only is that where her body was found, there's also a solid reason. We've already established that Miss Lear was in the trophy room. I agree, she must have been there at some point, but she could have left and returned to her room. Why was her body in the trophy room then? Maybe she came back before she was attacked? Miss Assistant, you realize that would mean Oliver didn't attack her, right? Then I'm just speculating on possibilities. Let's carry on. It's also a solid reason. Owen had asked her during breakfast to clean one of his golf clubs. It's clear she never had a chance to do so. But she did clean some of them. Oh, there we go. The music stopped. That must be correct. Miss Eubank, Chandra was asked to clean that golf club, was she not? She was, but she clearly never got the chance to do so. But there's an issue there. She did. We found the golf club partially clean. She must have been interrupted while cleaning it. Well, I suppose you're correct. It's clear the thief attacked her while she was cleaning. My argument stands firm. I wouldn't be so sure, Mrs. Eubank. There's a critical flaw in your theory, and I can prove it. Miss Lear couldn't have cleaned the club in the trophy room, and this is why, because the club cleaner was in her room. I assume. The cleaner for the golf club is found in Chandra's bedroom, not the trophy room. It's clear that Chandra took the golf club into her bedroom, and as she was cleaning it, she called the police. That's when she was attacked. Hang on, how do you know she didn't just wet a rag with the cleaner and then take that to the trophy room? Akin to bringing a packet of ketchup instead of an entire bottle. That would be impossible. There's nothing in the trophy room with golf cleaner on it besides the golf club. And how did the golf club get downstairs? Why is the cleaner upstairs but not the club? If our culprit wanted to make it seem like the trophy room was the real crime scene, they would need to move the golf club. They brought the club down with Chandra, but since the cleaner was stashed away in her dresser, they likely didn't notice it. Critically, whoever attacked her must not have realized that Chandra hadn't finished cleaning the club. Completely baseless. This is all nothing more than a pet theory. And there is one thing you've overlooked during it. And what would that be? You yet to explain why exactly Miss Lear would call the police from her bedroom. Allow me to explain. Rebuttal. A tea poorly brewed. Miss Lear was in her room. Why exactly would she call the police? If she was in the trophy room, it's likely that she saw the thief returning to the scene of the crime from the window. Therefore, she decided to call the police, fearing the worst. On the other hand, nothing in her room would cause her to call the police. She noticed her shit was missing. Or no, that was after she was attacked, I think. The camera, maybe? I don't know. Miss Eubank, were you aware that your husband was spying on Chandra? Excuse me? What on earth are you talking about? Why, that's a slanderous accusation. Detective, rein in your little assistant before she gets herself into trouble. Go on, Miss Assistant. There was a hidden camera in Chandra's bedroom. When we found it, it was broken. It's clear Chandra had found the camera in her room while she was cleaning, and after breaking it, she decided to call the police. She must have been attacked at that moment while her back was turned. And how do you know my husband put it there? Well, I think my assistant got a little too eager there. Someone certainly put a camera there, and Chandra did break it. But officially, we have no means to trace who put it there. I'm glad that's settled. As for the camera itself, what makes you think she found it today? What if she found it on a different day? Chandra put it, the camera had cleaner on it, I think. We found some fresh golf cleaner on the camera, the same that we found in her room. She must have had some on her hands when she discovered the camera. If she found the camera any other time, it would have dried up by now. It's clear now that you're going to cling on to this pet theory of yours. But all this time, you failed to consider that Chandra was not found in her bedroom. Her body was found an entire floor below. Bodies don't teleport, and my client couldn't possibly have moved her. And why is that? I'll let my client explain. Right, here it goes. The fucking onion is sweating. That's really good. Interrogation. Oliver Curry's statement. Second course, an impossible escape. Even if I attacked a Chandra, the only exit to the room was at the door. Miss Eubank saw me leave the room. He would have noticed me carrying her body. If Miss Eubank was in Chandra's room the whole time, he would have found her. That is why I couldn't have attacked her. The window was open. Saw me leave the room. Even though I attacked Chandra, the only exit to the room was the door. No, it's not. There's a window. It was open even. Actually, Mr. Curry, there is another exit. Oh, whoops. I think I scrolled somewhere. The window? You think I threw her out the window and she landed in the room below? You wanted another exit? The window is an exit. If that's your angle, then you really are desperate. It should be obvious why the window couldn't have been used, but allow me to explain it for you. Rebuttal. Out of the window. It's simply impossible that Miss Lear was moved through the window. A fall from that height would have less noticeable injuries. However, the only injury she had was a head wound. Unless you have some way for a body to move down a story without getting injured, your theory is moot. The bed sheet. Actually, there was a way she could have moved through the window unharmed. We found a bedsheet stuffed away in the trophy room. The sheet itself was covered in dirt, meaning it likely touched the ground outside. After attacking Chandra, Oliver wrapped her and the golf club in the sheet and simply lowered them to the floor below. Hold on, that sheet could have always been there. How do you know it came from Chandra's room? That's easy. This is how we know where the sheet came from. The bed has no sheet on it. The bed. Where's the bed? Bed. Bed, no sheet. When we investigated Chandra's room, we found that her bed had been stripped of its sheet. We never found that sheet anywhere, because it was stuffed in the trophy room the whole time. You can't be serious. I am serious. Just look at him. Oliver is clearly strong enough to have lowered Chandra with the sheet. It's the only way her body could have been moved. I believe that's all we need to prove that Oliver is the culprit. Enough! Why are you so determined on pinning this crime on me? This whole time you haven't even considered that your whole case is missing a key ingredient, the motive. Chandra was not only my coworker, but a friend. We were very close, her and I. Why would I attack Chandra? I have no reason to. Unless you could provide a motive, you got no grounds to charge me. A motive, huh? I guess I haven't considered that. Something made Oliver want to attack Chandra. This is it, Justina. Time to drive the nail into his coffin. You want motive? I got your motive. You wanted the stolen money. You wanted to protect your job? It's clear to me, Mr. Curry, that you cared about your job a lot. You made that point abundantly clear when we questioned you earlier. I think you never wanted to attack Chandra, but something happened that left you no choice. Fi told us that she spoke to you about Chandra's involvement in the robbery. I think you went to talk to her about it, and when you noticed her calling the police, you attacked her in the heat of the moment. Answer me one question. What was the weapon? The weapon? We never found the weapon. It's his fucking frying pan, obviously. As I suspected, you never did recover it. The culprit must have taken the weapon with them. If my client is the culprit, you would have surely found the weapon somewhere. Must have hidden it somewhere. I tried calling Detective Swift. They can't find anything there. Then I demand to be released immediately. Without a weapon, you have nothing. Let me make this perfectly clear. Final course, a recipe for failure. If the weapon isn't in the house, I must have been taken, but nobody left the estate other than the police. There's no way I could have taken a weapon out of the house. I'm not carrying any weapons. Yeah, you are. You're carrying Sherry. There is one place none of us have looked, on Oliver himself. According to Detective Swift, the weapon was a flat, blunt object, just like a frying pan he has now. The same frying pan he arrived at the crime scene with. That's why nobody has found the weapon. Nobody thought to check Sherry. Oliver, we need to test your pan for blood. But why? Just look at it. No blood inside. You may have washed the blood off, but traces can be found with the right tools. Of course, if you're innocent, we wouldn't find anything, right? This is your last chance to confess, Oliver. Once we test that pan, it's over for you. Oliver, please tell me that they're wrong. No. I can't. Uh-oh. Oliver, how could you? I'm sorry, Ferris. I never intended for any of this to happen. But why? Chandra was family, Oliver. Fi told me she was hiding in the trophy room when the robbery happened. She told me Chandra was taking money from the safe. I confronted Chandra and she told me the money wasn't adding up. She said she was going to expose the Eubanks one way or another. I tried to convince her to change her mind, but she wouldn't listen to me. Then, at breakfast this morning, Owen kept pressuring her. I knew she was afraid. She told me before she was considering calling the police and confessing to what she did. I went to go talk to her privately about it, but when I entered her room, I heard her on the phone. She was about to confess. I couldn't let her do it. I didn't know what else to do. This job, it meant everything to me. After being rejected everywhere else, I had the real job. If you and Owen were arrested, I would lose the best job I ever had. I couldn't go back to my family. I wasn't thinking, and before I knew it, she was on the floor. I had no choice but to frame the thief. I thought then Chandra would be safe. I took up your defense because I believed you. I thought you were truly innocent. I trusted you. I'm so sorry, Ferris. After getting his formal confession, Detective Hunt escorted Oliver away. Miss Smith? Before I go, I thought I should apologize for how I acted there. I should be thanking you. Thank me? I thought you would hate me. As painful as it is, if you didn't step in, the wrong person would have been charged for Oliver's crime. It isn't easy, but at least some good came from all of this. There is one more mystery hanging around this case. It seems that everyone believes that your husband is embezzling money from the charity. When we spoke to him earlier today, he denied it, but he was clearly spying on Chandra, and he took something from her room. Is it possible that he stole the evidence from her room? Of course not. We've run our business together for years. He would never do that. We even publicly agreed to pay the stolen half out of pocket. Isn't that proof enough? I take it as proof. I really do. But it's Detective Hunt you have to convince. Seems I misjudged you. If you want to accuse my husband, at least be upfront about it. I'm not accusing him. I still think he's innocent. It's just, all of this really isn't adding up. I'm gonna make sure the police handle my former friend fairly. This conversation is over. I might have stepped on a landmine. Well, she looked pissed. You alright, Justy? I could be better. I keep thinking about where the money went. I might have pushed her too far. Did you just get back? Yep, I headed back here as soon as I could. In any case, let me be the first to say, congrats, you did it! You solved the case! I'm so proud of you and Red. It wasn't just us. Your work helped too. You were the key to connecting Owen to the scene. Without that, we never would have known about Oliver's involvement. That's not traffic cop work, that's grade A detective work. Thank you, Justy. That means a lot. Hey, tell you what, why don't you tag along with me for drinks later? We can have a proper celebration then. Ooh, yeah, sure. Great, Zephyr and I will be waiting when your shift's over. Before that, though, I think there's one person we've forgotten about. Wait in the interrogation room. I gotta go grab Red and the guest room. I have a feeling I know who she means. April 16th, 4:48 p.m. Azure City Police Precinct number 5, interrogation room. Now that we're all here, I want to give you the news. Monsieur, you're no longer being charged with assault. What about Chandra? She's still recovering from her injuries, but she's woken up. We expect to be able to talk to her tomorrow. Now, of course, the robbery charge isn't being dropped. Both of you still have to answer for that crime. I expected that, but still. Thank you for finding out who attacked her. I am truly thankful. I take back what I said earlier. You aren't evil. You continue to cooperate with our investigation. I'll see if the district attorney can provide you some leniency. Wait, what investigation? Isn't it over? Not yet, Miss Assistant. We still have those embezzlement claims to look into. Sue spoke with the chief. Apparently, they've both agreed to let you continue to be my assistant. If you'll work with me again, we can finally uncover the truth behind everything. I want to believe Mrs. Eubank. His embezzlement is unnecessary for someone wealthy like Mr. Eubank. Yet until I see the answer myself, I can't take her word for it. I'm in. Ha! Then let's get back to our desk. We got a lot of work to get done. I spent the rest of the day doing my actual job, paperwork. I didn't see much of Detective Hunt. Miss Earl told me once the chief found out what happened to Mr. Eubank, he got the biggest dressing down of his career. In the end, the fact that we solved the case is what saved him from demotion, or worse. Today was a day that truly changed my life. I don't know what's in store for me in the future, but I know whatever it is, it will be far more eventful than I could have imagined. April 16th. Office. Hello, sir. Do you need something? Hello, my boy. I'm glad you came. Some information has come onto my desk that I need you to look into. BG Turtles, LLC. I want you to get me everything you can find in this company. Yes, sir. Right away. This would go much smoother without the police snooping around. End of case 2. Alright, time for case 3. Case 3, swiftly solved. March. Azure City Police Precinct number 5, station offices. Please, I need just a little more time. I'm sorry, but this isn't up for debate. If the chief says it's closed, it's closed. But... It's been long enough. We need you working elsewhere. Have the finished case report on my desk by the end of the day. Yes, ma'am. April 24th, 8 a.m., Azure City Police Precinct number 5, station lobby. It's only my second week of this job, and I already feel like I've aged 10 years. How could so much paperwork pile up so quickly? When I die, I hope I'm reborn into a paperwork-free life. Are you monologuing to yourself again? Miss Earl, I'm ready for the new day. That's the spirit. I wanted to tell you Chandra was finally released from the hospital. She's waiting in the interrogation room. As much as I would love to have you do the job you were actually hired for, this is more important. Everyone is already waiting, so get going. Yes, ma'am. April 24th, 8:07 a.m., Azure City Police Precinct Number 5, interrogation room. Welcome to our little get-together, Miss Assistant. Chandra, this is Justina Smith, my assistant for this investigation. Nice to meet you, Miss Smith. Miss Yor already confessed to your involvement in the robbery, so we can skip over that. However, she also claimed that you believe the Eubanks were siphoning off money from the charity fund. Do you have any evidence for this alleged embezzlement? I do. I keep all my records in my room behind the wallpaper. Unfortunately, we already checked there. All we found was your passport and some unrelated documents. That's impossible. Someone must have taken it. We have reason to believe that Mr. Eubank may have taken something from your room. If you had proof, that's likely what he took. This is slanderous. You have no proof of any of these claims. It's clear she never had any evidence of this supposed embezzlement. You should drop this while you're ahead, Detective. Ha ha! We've perfectly within our bounds to investigate these claims. If you intend to interview, you can exit the room. Nothing more to say? Good. Chandra, we'll need to get your official statement on these matters. I'll tell you everything I know. Statement? I kept track of the donors of the Klaus charity, as well as the accounting. After doing the math, roughly 25,000 alms were missing from the charity money. That money was redirected to a shell company called BG Turtles, LLC. If we didn't grab the media's attention, it would have gone completely unnoticed. Do you know why the money was missing? No, but I couldn't find any legitimate reason for the money to have been transferred like that. I hope you realize without any evidence all we have here is your testimony. And your testimony doesn't exactly give us too much to work off of. Heh. Nevertheless, we intend to investigate these claims. You can't be serious. She's already proven herself as unreliable, and you're going to take her word on the matter. I'm going to find out the truth behind this, Mrs. Eubank. Surely you should have no problem with that. With that, I believe we can conclude this little meeting. Then I'll be leaving. Chandra, I'm afraid to say that as of now, you're officially terminated from your job. I know you've been through a lot, but we have no other choice. You can collect your things when this is over. Wait! She stormed off in a hurry. I can't say I expected anything else. Embezzlement or not, I still committed a crime. I suppose I deserve this. If it means anything, I promise we will see this through to the end. We should go, Justina. I hate to just leave, but it's best we get going. Please tell me leaving that interrogation room with a sense of guilt isn't normal. You should only feel guilty if you've done something wrong. We have nothing to be ashamed of. Sue will look after Chandra for now. We have a case to solve. But we just barely have anything to go on. How do we even investigate this? If we couldn't find anything at the Eubank estate, that means the next best place to look would be the orphanage itself. But if the orphanage was involved, doesn't that mean it's possible there was no embezzlement? Mr. Eubank could have been holding on to the money for safekeeping. We'll have to keep an open mind. Either way, the orphanage should contain all the answers we need. So, you ready to go? Yes, sir. Hold on just a minute, you two. Miss Earl, what is it? If you're going to the orphanage, you'd better take a look at this first. How did you... Ha! She knows everything that goes on in this station. What do you have for us? Do you remember that vandalized car report from last month? Of course I remember. That's a face of pure guilt if I've ever seen one. On March 14th, the orphanage director was involved in a crash after the brakes on his car failed. Oh, right, that case. Wasn't Sophie assigned on that? She was. The landlady reported that the brakes on Bill's car were vandalized by an unknown person. However, she never found the culprit. The director ended up asking for the charges to be dropped after we failed to turn anything up. Why didn't you help, Detective? She was promoted earlier that month. It was her first big case and I wanted her to solve it on her own. Otherwise, she'd just think it was all me. I see. Poor Sophie. The case might be closed, but it's a good reason to reach out to Bill. I'd suggest you keep the embezzlement to yourself until you can figure out what they know. Detective Swift and I will see what we can dig up on BG Turtles in the meantime. Shouldn't she be joining us? The car crash was her case. That's why she can't. The case is closed. You're not there to solve it. It's your cover. But still, do I make myself clear? Yes, ma'am. Here's the case report. It should get you up to speed on things. Thanks for digging this up for us. All I did was find the file. If anyone asks you, ask me to find it for you. Oh, and Justina, when you solve this case, take it easy on the drinking. I know what you and Sophie get up to after these cases. How did you... Oh, forget it. Ha! That's Sue for you. Now let's get going. It's impossible to keep anything a secret around here, not with her around. Alright, I actually would like to see that statement? Summary? Nope, not statement. Summary? Investigation log? No. No. Detective's brief. 5 weeks ago, on March 14th, police were notified of a car accident. Bill Klaus, the orphanage's director, crashed into a tree after a brake failure. Our investigation found the brakes had been purposely tampered with, classifying the same case as attempted homicide. Witness reported seeing an unknown suspect fleeing the scene around the time of the accident. However, our investigation failed to conclusively identify the culprit. Got it. I thought we were going to the orphanage. This looks like a motel. It used to be. Eubank Investments helped convert this old motel into an orphanage a few years ago. At the time, it was the orphanage's only choice, so they took it. You sure do know a lot about this place. Ha! The director and I go way back. I met him in high school. But we could talk about that later. Let's head over to his office. Travel to the director's office. God, it's messy in here. April 24th, 8:38 a.m. Klaus Orphanage, director's office. Hello? Anyone home? Ernest, what are you doing here? Bill! Good to see you. Let me introduce you to my assistant. Justina, this is Bill Klaus, director of the Klaus Orphanage. Bill, this is Justina, the newest member at the precinct. Nice to meet you. Congratulations on joining the force. Thanks. Do I seriously look like a police officer? Back on topic, why are you here? Can an old friend just say hi? You never come here just to say hi, Ernest. What do you want? Ha! You got me. I'm here about the accident last month. We never did catch the culprit, so I wanted to change that. Not this again. Look, Ernest, I already told the police to drop it. It's water under the bridge now. I'm not here as a police officer, but as a friend. Someone almost killed you. I'm not letting them get off scot-free. Kind of impressed how he can lie about the real reason. And why wait a month? And he saw right through it. This isn't really my jurisdiction. I'm not supposed to be investigating this. I guess you could say I finally entered my loose cannon cop phase. Loose cannon cop phase. If I acted too quickly, the chief would throw the book at me. But he's likely forgotten about this case by now. Fine, whatever, I believe you. I really don't have much to say about the matter, but I'll tell you what I told the last detective. Statement. I had just gotten out of a meeting with the landlady when I headed out to my car. Meg was fixing it up for me. I didn't see her around, so I figured she was done. I had barely left the parking lot before the brakes failed and I crashed. Thankfully, I was driving slowly, so I wasn't hurt badly. Can't say the same for my car, though. I haven't been able to drive it since. Meg? You mean your Meg was working on it? Yep, all those years working with the landlady's paying off. It was Meg. When Bill set this whole place up, she was one of the first kids here. I never thought I'd see her all grown up. You know, she still doesn't want to go to college. She just wants to work in some mechanic shop. I keep telling her she's capable of more, but she won't listen. Let her live before she becomes old and crusty like us. Speak for yourself, I'm still strong as an ox. You could be too if you ever join me at the gym. Ha! If the gym ever gets robbed, I'll be there right away. Until then, a detective's job is never done. Right, always with the excuses, Ernest. Well, since you're here, I suppose you can stay for a while. It's not much, but it is home. How old are they? 35? He's not even... They're pretending they're ancient. They're 35. I'm gonna be 35 in 5 years. You're not even old. He's not even old. How old is the Eubank? 34? Yeah, they're not even old. The oldest person in this game is 35. They're not even old. Needed to take a sip. Alright, what's up, man? Orphanage's location. I wanted to ask, why open an orphanage in a motel? It's so unusual. It is, but this is an important location. It's within walking distance of both Whitehall Academy and the Church of the First Lotus. Providing a good academic and spiritual education took priority over everything else. Whitehall Academy? It's a pretty prestigious school, best one in the city, admits all grades. Plus, it's free for anyone who passes the rigorous entrance exam. And all the children here go there? Yep, I created this orphanage specifically for children who could attend Whitehall. When I met brilliant children like Megan, I wanted to provide that opportunity for them. Any child with the aptitude could come and stay here. Why set up an orphanage just to be close to a school? Can't the kids just live wherever and still go to Whitehall? In theory, yes. In practice, no. Before coming here, some of the kids lived over an hour away, excluding traffic. By the time adds up, most would rather go to a closer school. To them, school is school, each one the same. But it's not. Where you learn impacts your whole life. Bill speaks from experience. He lived outside the city, but still showed up early every day. It was like he slept in the school. Unlike you, who practically ran into class right before the bell rang. Every single day. Ha! Hey, I still got perfect attendance. But if anyone knows the importance of a short commute, it'd be him. It may seem small, but for these kids, it gives them the time I wish I had. In any case, this was the only place I could get, so I buckled down and got it. Might have seemed crazy at first, but we made it work. The landlady could give you more details. She's in her office today. She's in a meeting right now, but knowing you, you won't let that stop you. When you want to head there, Miss Assistant, let me know. Wow. That's a lot of menu options. Meg's ambition. Why are you so against Meg being a mechanic? It sounds to me like she found her passion in life. She's capable of so much more. Her grades prove it. She could attend the best college in the city. But instead, she just wants to work on cars all day. She only found her passion because of this chance you gave her. Isn't that a success? You know, my parents were pretty adamant that I go to art school when I graduated. They're both artists, so it made sense to them. They thought I had a lot of potential for it. I didn't want to disappoint them, so I did it. I like art and I learned a lot, but ultimately it wasn't for me. And now all I have to show for it is a degree I'll never use. My actual job is the furthest thing from art you can get. If you push... dying. If you push Meg to go to college for something she doesn't have any drive for, she'll just be wasting her time. Time she could be spent pursuing her true dream. I suppose you have a point. I'll give it some thought. Dropping the case. Why'd you ask the police to drop the case? Don't you want us to catch the person who caused it? To tell you the truth, I already know who did it. You do? I thought... Bill, if Swift says the kid didn't do it, he didn't do it. Hold on, what kid? Just some kid from the area. He went to school with Meg and graduated last year. When rumor went around about the crash, he took credit for the thing. And you're only saying this now? Why wouldn't you want him arrested? Detective Swift had already looked into him. He's nothing more than a graffiti artist. If he says he did it, he did it. But nevertheless, a lot of employers turn down people for a criminal record, no matter how small. I don't want to ruin the kid's life. If he didn't actually do it, then why take credit for it? How about we find out? Sophie wrote down where he hangs out. Let's go pay him a visit. Whitehall Academy. I didn't know that so many kids were capable of going to such a fancy school. I certainly couldn't. My childhood was spent struggling for a passing grade. There's a lot of children that, because of their circumstances, can't live up to their true potential. Orphan children, in particular, are pretty vulnerable to being ignored by the system. People don't think much about education for these kids. They think all they need to do is wait until they're adopted, thinking little about what happens if they aren't. That's why I fight against being a traditional orphanage. I want to break that stereotype. They all deserve a bright future, and I intend to give it to them. Now I feel bad for kids who can't make it in. You're not alone, but Whitehall thankfully offers tests for all grades year-round. So if they fail once, they can always try again next time. Klaus Orphanage might seem strange, but there are a few places with such lofty goals. I hope one day this place becomes the standard, not the exception. I hope so too. No wonder he was upset about the robbery. This place means so much to him. I forgot the Church of the First Lotus was near here. My parents often used to take me there when I was younger. Getting the kids to attend is the hardest part. Most of them try to avoid coming if they can. I say let them choose if they want to or not. You're wasting their time if you force them. Are you not religious, sir? Religion and I don't get along. I respect they're all faithful, but you won't see me step inside a church willingly. The gods can afford having one less faithful among us. You shouldn't say that. Your next life might be as a flower or a bee if you're not careful. Ernest never joined us at the church when we were younger. Even if he starts now, the best he'll get is a fish. I'll take my chances. Just promise me that if you see a handsome fish in your next life, you won't eat it. Alright, let's investigate the room. I'm probably gonna investigate this room and then wrap up. I'm feeling, like, kinda headachy. Excuse the mess, I haven't had time to tidy things up. It's like a teenager's bedroom. We could help you clean up. No, I'll get to it later. So, never. No comment. Let's see, looks like the orphanage's ledger. Expenses for last month were 15,000 alms, and he paid them all on time. My dad could learn a thing or two about record keeping. Better write this down before I get caught snooping. Painting. This painting looks familiar. Oh, Chandra had the same painting in her room. Hey, Bill, where'd you get this? It was a gift from the Eubanks. It had some cheesy line attached to it. With hard work and diligence, anyone can soar to great heights. Priceless coming from a family born from wealth. It's like someone stuffed the food with wondering how anyone how anyone could go hungry. Stone deaf as it may seem, it's inspiring for the kids. I, for one, would like to think we can live in a world where it's true. I guess that explains why it's mass-produced. Maybe Chandra keeps the painting in her room for the same reason. TV. That's a nice-looking TV. It was part of the motel before we moved in. There's one just like it in every room. Must be tough getting the kids to focus on homework with all those TVs around. That's what I thought, but all that's on them is public access in the news. Turns out the landlady's family never paid for more than the basic cable package. Now I feel bad for them. Notes. He's got a lot of sticky notes here. They're called sticky notes for a reason. He's been stuck to them for his entire life. Ha ha! That's a small price to pay in order to keep track of everything. You got receipts here from last month. Talk about organized. I don't remember the last time I kept a receipt for something. Whenever Meg or I order anything, I keep the receipts for at least 3 months. Looks like she ordered brakes at 1:15 p.m. on the day of the accident. I better write that down. Trash. Leaving trash on the floor. Even my teenage room was cleaner than this. Wait, what's this? Redline insurance. Just throw it in the trash can. It's worthless. Isn't insurance important? It's who I get my car insurance from. They refused my claim for repairs after the crash. Why? It's not your fault. Try telling them that. They used every trick in the book to make it seem like I was irresponsible. So I gave up. I have kids to take care of and other life obligations. I don't have time to fight a claim like this. But you shouldn't give up. It's your car. Unfortunately, that's how they get you. Wear you down until it's too much of a hassle to keep going. The people at Redline might as well be running an organized crime ring. Doesn't matter anyways. I was able to get the money together to repair the car myself. I feel bad for Bill. I hope we can settle this soon. I should keep note of this letter. Chair. Hey, it's a spinny chair. We have some in the office, but this one looks way more cozy. If you have to sit on a chair all day, you need to do something good to support your back. I look at myself in shrimp pose right now. Hold on. This was the best investment of my life. Hey, detective, you think Sue could get us these chairs? I think that would require you to stay at your desk for more than an hour. Well, it was worth a shot. Alright, let's save here. Yeah, I'm feeling like kind of woozy today. I don't know what's up. But I got a little bit in. We've solved the first case. Sorry for wrapping up early, but yeah, I'm feeling strange. So I'm gonna wrap up here. But thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night. Catch you next week for whatever, and we'll catch you tomorrow for more Scarlet Nexus on Boko's channel. Bye-bye.